That's right, Norwich fans. 11 Rovers coming to Carrow Road this Saturday to burst your bubble. That's right, folks. Back once again with another match preview. This time looking forward to Blackburn Rovers' penultimate game of the season. We'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button. Keep your bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, we're all here under one roof. Now, bar any miraculous collapse by Norwich City, you're not going to be bothered with this Championship coverage because you're going to the Premier League, and we'll talk all about that in just 1 second. But a big shout out to two brand new Patreons to the gang. A big shout out to John Spurn, who joined the club, and Ben Haywood, who kicked us all off pretty much on the launch day. So if you want to join those two illustrious human beings as Patreons for Blackburn Rovers C's channel, there is a link to that sucker in the description below. There are 3 tiers for your leisure to explore, each varying in levels and privileges and all that kind of good stuff. So just check it out. There might be something that you might consider that is beneficial for you, but also just beneficial for the channel to keep us moving in the right direction. I'm trying to kick on forward with the production quality and all that kind of stuff next season. I'm exploring a few avenues, but I would like, I'm looking for any support whatsoever to help increase the quality. But anyway, let's take a look further at this match. It does take place this Saturday. Is the late kickoff over at Carrow Road, 27th of April. Norwich City against Rovers, and they are still managed by Daniel Farke, who's done an absolute bonkers job with Norwich this season. They've come out of nowhere, really. They did start the season in pretty shitty form, but since I don't know, after the first couple of weeks, 6 weeks, something like that, and they've just skyrocketed and they've gone up. Last season they finished a woeful 14th. So that's a benchmark, Rovers, if we think about it. If we can adopt the philosophy of a Norwich, of a Sheffield United, you never know where we'll be next season. Teemu Pukki is the key man for me, obviously top goal scorer within the division. And having one of those bad boys around, putting the ball in the back of the net, does help you out a little bit. Now, the last time that these two sides met at Carrow Road was a 2-2 draw. That was in March 2017. That was the season we got relegated. I don't know where Norwich finished in that division. Over the years, the two sides have played each other 44 times, Rovers winning 19 of them, Norwich winning 13, including the one at Ewood earlier in the season. And we've drawn 12 between us. Now, before we get into the stuck of the thick of things, look at the starting 11s. Here are some of the possible absentees for Norwich. No suspended players, but a couple of players injured. Louis Thompson is out. He's on a day-to-day sort of analysis. And Carlton Morris is also out to the middle of April, so he may feature, you never know. But this is my expected starting lineups. Correct me if I'm wrong, Norwich. Krul between the sticks. We got Lewis at left back. Godfrey, Zimmerman, Aarons completes the back four. McLean, Tribal, Stipperman, Hernandez, Leitner, and Pukki. Now, I was actually quite stunned to see how many Germans there are in here. Obviously, Farke is German, probably raided the Zweite Bundesliga, or maybe even the regional German divisions to bring in some of these bad boys. Hernandez didn't know he was German. And I thought Stiepermann might have been Zimmerman, correct. I thought so, but I didn't know. Tribal was German. Leitner has that twang of a German thing. But yeah, quite there are bargains to be found out there, Mowbray. Pay close attention. Anyway, a quick look at the stats for you. Pukki is the main man, 29 goals. Second is Jordan Rose, the ledge. He's in there with 9 goals. He's second goal scorer. With Stiepermann, has also got 9. Hernandez also got 9. The trifactor with goals as well. As for the disciplines, Zimmerman has 11. Aarons has 9. Tribal has 8. And Stiepermann has 7. As for the Reds, top of the pops, it is ex-Rover Hanley and Emmy have a red card to the name. The last 5 fixtures is not pretty reading for a Norwich fan. Obviously, they've drawn back to back. 4 games on the spin. Most recently against Stoke, 22nd of April. Then they drew against Sheffield Wednesday at Carrow, 2-2. They drew against Wigan away from home, 1-1. They did draw against Reading, 10th of April, also at Carrow Road. But they did spank QPR all the way back on the 6th of April. Now, the last 2 games for Villa to wrap up the season. I think they're just about over the line, but you never know. If we were to put up a bit of a party pooper, it might cause them some nervy afternoons against Aston Villa on the 5th of May. Anyway, to have a look at Blackburn Rovers' injury table. There are 3 main players that are probably out. No registered suspension suspension. Harrison Reed is day-to-day, but he's probably, or it's unknown really, but I think he's done. Gladwin, Samuel have been out the whole season. We'll see them next season. I don't think there's going to be any changes for the start 11 for Rovers, considering what we played against Bolton on the weekend. Lautweiler will probably remain. The Flatmeister will remain in goal. Bell, Williams, Lenihan and Nyambe. The reason Lautweiler will remain is because it's just a couple more games to see what he's capable of. He did have a clean sheet. It'd be quite harsh to pull him out after a clean sheet. And that goes the same for some other players in there. Clean sheet for Williams and Lenihan. They look absolutely solid. Nyambe, Bell were not that effective down the sides, but they've got pace and abundance. Rodwell, Travis did a good controlling job as well. Travis picked up a niggle. He might be out, so we might see maybe an Evans or a Bennett coming in there. Dak should remain. Armstrong and Rothwell should continue as well, with big bad boy Brereton up to the top of the team. But we might see Graham in this one, to be honest with you, but it's quite harsh to pull Brereton after he broke his hoodoo. Anyway, look at the stats there. Dacky boys tops of scorers with 17 goals. Big DG's second with 16. Mulgrews got 10. Armstrong's got 9. He wants one more to get double digits. As for the discipline, Bennett has 10 yards. Evans, Smallwood and Lenihan all have 8. As for the Reds, Williams is the unlucky fellow with 2, and Big Dick Smallwood has 1 red to his name. Now, the last 5 fixtures look absolutely rosy, bar 1, and the gaffer could be in the mix for the manager of the month. We'll have a look at the form table in just a second. So it's 4 wins on the spin for Rovers, 2-0 victory against Bolton last time out. Before that, we took on QPR down Loftus Road and we won 2-1. We also beat Nottingham Forest on the road as well, 2-1. We beat Derby County back at Ewood Park, 2-0, and then all the way back 6th of April, we did lose at the start of the month to Stoke City, 1-0. The next fixtures, obviously, Norwich City, and we'll end the season up against, I think, lastminute.com playoff chasing Swansea City. We'll have a look how much they got to do in just a tickety-boo. Here is the fixtures for this weekend. Millwall got it all to do against Stoke. They just need to win. Early kickoff there. Bolton, they're down. Up against Brentford, who they're a weird team. They can demolish Rovers. Then they can get beat by everybody. I expect Bolton maybe to sneak one here. West Brom, they're in a shit shape bit of form as well. They got it all to do. I think their playoffs are safe, but they're not gonna cause any problems there really. Rotherham, they need to win as well to keep themselves above water. Swansea City, if they are going to get playoff bound, they need to beat Hull. QPR against Nottingham Forest, again a bit of a dead rubber there. Middlesbrough need to keep their heads above water. Reading just about safe. Birmingham, I think, also safe. Wigan, unfortunately, they're also safe. Preston against Sheffield Wednesday, I think that's a dead rubber as well. Bristol City against Derby, that's a crunch one. Sheffield United against Ipswich, a must win for Sheffield United. Can Ipswich be party poopers over there? And obviously the game of the weekend is Norwich City against Rovers, and Leeds will take on Villa on Sunday. Early one, that one. Anyway, here's the table for you. Norwich City are top of the pops. That's what we got to beat, boys. They are 3 points clear of Sheffield United, and they're actually 6 points clear of Leeds, with 6 on the table. So, go figure. Leeds need to win both their games, including Aston Villa, red hot form. Norwich City, they just need a point in the next 2 games to confirm promotion. Now, obviously, they want to go as El Champianos, so they're 3 points clear of Sheffield United as well. So, Sheffield United, if they lose against Ipswich, then it opens the door up for Leeds if they can beat Aston Villa. It will flip the tables a little bit and it will go down to the wire. But anyway, into the playoff spots we go. Leeds United are in 3rd, West Brom 4th, Villa 5th, Derby 6th, who are in their goal difference as well over Middlesbrough. Bristol City still got a chance. Sheffield Wednesday might have a chance. Swansea City do realistically have a chance. They have a game in hand on the likes of Middlesbrough and Villa. So, you know, they still have a shot. Nottingham Forest, I think they're toast. Yeah, they are toast. It's officially toast. So top 10 and above have a outside shot of playoffs. As for the bottom, Ipswich down, Bolton down, Rotherham have it all to do up against Millwall, who have a game in hand as well. 6 points on the table for you. So it's either Reading, Millwall or Rotherham to go down. Realistically, it's either Millwall or Rotherham. Anyway, let's have a look at the top goal scorers. Toyo Mopuki is the main man. 28 goals to his name. Abraham is hot on his heels. He's hot on his heels. Neil Maupay is right in there as well. Billy Sharp, Gale, Adams, Rodriguez, Bowen, McBurney, Grab, and I'm sure Dacky Boy's right on the hot list right there. As for the assist makers, Benrahma tops and pops with 14. Grzycki has 12. Hernandez has, from Leeds, has 12. Bowenda and Lolly have 11. Anyway, let's take a look at those illustrious form books. We are sitting pretty in 3rd. Norwich are sitting pretty in 6th. As for Villa, they are top of the pops And right now, I guess the Villa manager is up for manager of the month. So is Swansea. They're in second spot. So we got to take them bad boys on next. As for the home form, we're looking here for Norwich. They sit pretty with fourth. The past 6 home games, they've won 4 of them and they've drawn 2. As for the away form book, Rovers sit in a 8th spot, 2 wins, 1 draw, 3 defeats. But most recently, 2 wins on the spin away from home. So not too shabby indeed. Anyway, let's take a look at more of their form book. This is Norwich's last 5 or 6 home games. Same deal with Rovers away. So they come into this Norwich with back-to-back draws, back-to-back 2-2 draws against Sheffield Wednesday and Reading. And then the wins against QPR, Hull, Swansea and Bristol City. That was when they were really knocking out the fixtures. As for Rovers, we come into this back-to-back wins away from home, QPR and Nottingham Forest. Before that, we did lose squeaky bum against Villa and Sheffield Wednesday. We also lost to Rotherham and we drew with Birmingham. What else we got here? These are the last 6 fixtures between the two sides in all competitions and all grounds, including one in the Premier League back there. So last time out, Rovers did lose to Norwich at Ewood Park. That was a 1-0 loss. But the last time out, these two sides did play. I did mention it earlier, 2-2 draw over at Carrow Road. But realistically, it's in favour of Norwich. 4 wins out of 6. Is that right? 1, 2, yeah, 4 wins out of 6. Rovers just picking up 1 win, and there is a 1 draw between. But what about Carrow Road? Well, it's pretty good reading for Rovers at Carrow Road. We haven't won there though since 1999, so we're going to go back a little bit. But we've only lost once since that defeat, or since that win for Rovers. So it's pretty good. A lot of draws knocking about, so maybe we'll get another one. Quick overview here of the strengths and weaknesses for both Norwich and Rovers. But ultimately, I'll give you, if you want to check it out, pause the screen here, have a good look. You can dissect what you want. But here's some facts for you. There have been over 2.5 goals scored in 14 of Norwich's last 17 games. And also, Norwich have drawn their last 4 matches. We know about that. And there have been over 2.5 goals scored in Blackburn's last 8 away games. And Norwich have scored at least 2 goals in 13 of their last 14 home matches in the Championship. So a little bit what I have to say about the match. Now what you really want to hear is what the opposition fans have to say. And I'm joined once again by very, very happy supporter from Norwich, Harvey Monck. He joins me live via Skype. So first and foremost, for my small corner of the YouTube universe, if they didn't catch you the first time around, tell them a little about yourself and tell them why on earth you support Norwich City.
Okay, so I'm 20 years old. I've been supporting Norwich since I was quite little. Always been from Norwich, born in Norwich, so born and bred. Support my local team. I think my first game I went and watched, I think it was either Watford or Wolves. I can't remember, but it was one of the two. It began with a W, so I know that much. But after that, I've just been watching them. And then this season's been my first season to have a season ticket because It's the first season I've been able to afford it.
What a season.
So what a season I've decided to put my money in the pot.
Yeah, you've seen... I think obviously Norwich had a bit of a rough start, but since that blip at the beginning, it's been sky's the limit. Okay, so Harvey, what we're going to do today is kind of like a season overview of the players and all that kind of good stuff, just in case, it'll bring everybody up to speed at who you think is good and who you think is crap. So anyway, in your eyes, who has been the standout performer? Obviously the main people's opinion will probably be the goal scorer, but is there someone else that we should be looking at as the best player for you within the Norwich ranks?
Obviously, without a doubt, I'd probably say Timu Pukki, but if it was someone else other than a goal scorer, I mean, looking at the other teams, I think if we look at, I have to give mention to Billy Sharp as well. I think he's been phenomenal for Sheffield United.
We are only focusing on Norwich alone. You cannot pick any of the other guys. Just Norwich, yes. I've thrown you under the bus here now. So yeah, this is Norwich only.
So I would probably have to say Emi Buendia.
All right.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Okay. I mean, since he picked up that suspension, the team hasn't been the same at all. I mean, look, we've got four draws on the trot now, and since he's come back in the team, and we've looked a bit better. I know we didn't win against Stoke, but it seems to be all of the build-up play is through him. And I just think he's magical to watch on the ball. Absolutely amazing for anyone who gets to witness him in play as well. So I'd definitely put him down as probably our best player, other than Timu Puki.
All right. Okay. No. Obviously, top of the table. Everything seems to be working out for Norwich. But is there anybody that you've been very disappointed with? Who's been an absolute turkey for you this season?
A lot of Norwich fans would probably gut me for this, but I'd say Tim Krul. Um, I like the guy. He's very nice. I've talked to him quite a few times. It's just the fact that he's making too many mistakes for a team that are now going up to the Prem. I just think there's been at times this season where he's actually cost us points and stuff like that. There's been other times where in difficult games he's been very good for us. And hats off to him for doing the job, because we've not got any other goalkeepers to take his place. But I do think that at the end of the day, if I was to pick anyone, it's him. I don't think he's been as consistent as the other starters.
Okay, fair analysis there. Okay, what about through the ranks, through the under 23s or anything? Anybody coming through, shining lights for Norwich, maybe that could break through next year?
I think you have to give mention to Ben Godfrey. I think what he's shown at a centre back, even though he's not a born centre back, he was a centre defensive mid when he first joined Norwich. But he's adopted the role so well. You only have to watch the highlights of him at the Stoke game. He tracked back from the opposition's box all the way back to our own box to intercept a ball. It was absolutely phenomenal to watch him leg the whole length of the field just to get the ball back. So I think he's gonna go on and have a good future, I think. And whether that be with Norwich next season for another year, which I'd like to hope we can keep him for another year. But I know that there's certainly a couple of vultures, Manchester United, and Arsenal who have been interested in looking for a centre back, and it is a much needed position for them. So it's a difficult one.
Okay, well, yeah. Hopefully, you can keep on to your best prospects, especially for your initial season in the Prem. Okay, what about obviously Farke's your main man, your gaffer. Not too sure myself from a third eye of who he's brought in over the season, but who has been the best signing? Obviously, I think did Pookie arrive this season or was he last season? I can't remember.
Pookie arrived this season. Free transfer.
Wow.
Already been touted as the best free transfer ever. He's now on, I think, 28 league goals. He's just phenomenal, phenomenal to watch. He's got everything you need in a striker. And for someone who we all sort of at the start of the season looked at and went, well, either we didn't know who he was, or we were all relating to when he played at Celtic. And obviously, when he played at Celtic, he wasn't very good. So either it's been very good, very very good scouting by Farke and his guys who have sort of gone, well, actually, with the team of players we've got, he'd probably suit. But I just think he's got that sort of confidence in front of goal. What you'll see with him is he'll track back. He'll do the dirty stuff as well. So he'll come back and do the defending. Some of his track backs are just phenomenal to watch. I can't fault the guy in any aspect whatsoever.
No. All right, now what about, obviously, they all make them. All managers, they can't have a glowing record of amazing signings. Any really absolute shockers for you this year?
Dennis Shabeni.
Dennis Shabeni. I don't even know who he is.
Exactly. He's not actually, well, he has played for us, but only in League Cup and FA Cup. He's not really had a shout since then because Jordan Rhodes is ahead of him and obviously Pookie's still firing. Shabeni for me he's not the finished article quite yet, but I don't know. I would say that he's probably our worst signing, just looking at how he's played so far this season.
Okay.
So there's a little promise there, but I would say out of everyone, he's probably.
Well, it's hard to fault a team, and especially they're at the top of the table, so it's hard to pick a bad one out of that lot. Okay, now obviously the next question is, who's your favourite player? Now, might not necessarily be the player that scores all the goals, or is that wizard in the midfield, but who do you enjoy watching?
Probably have said Christoph Zimmermann, and I think, what was it? At the moment, I'm currently making a video, an appreciation video of all the tackles. I mean, he's just phenomenal. He saves the ball with his head. He just lunges at everything. And I don't know, for him to have come into such a young side, and him being himself a little, younger than some of the other guys that we had, I just think he marshals the defence very well. We've got Grant Hanley and Tim Closer, both internationals, sat on the bench. They can't even get in the first team because you've got Zimmerman and Godfrey as the centre-back partnership. So I think he's done really well. And I just love watching how he enjoys just, throwing himself at a ball. It's been a joy to watch him defend.
Awesome. Yep. We could do with one of those defenders that you got on the bench. But however, we're turning a corner maybe. Okay, now is there a player that might be a bit rough around the corners? He might, come in with a late tackle, someone with a flying elbow, someone that has got a bit of a bad track record that we should keep an eye out for.
See, if you'd had asked me this a couple of seasons ago, I would have said Alex Tetty, but he's improved a lot this season. I'd probably say if it's going to be anyone, you're either looking at, I'd probably say Grant Hanley.
All right.
He's just an absolute tank, but he can be a bit clumsy at times.
Yeah, we know that. We had him on our books back in the day. Yeah, he was. I think he's improved as a defender, but he's still got that roughness around it. Okay, who is within the Norwich ranks? Obviously, Pookie, amazing. You got some really good, blessed with a lot of talent. But who gets a bit too many plaudits? Do you think?
I'd have to go for Moritz Leitner. He came from Borussia Dortmund. Well, he was with Borussia Dortmund. So everyone was like, oh yeah, he's brilliant, he's amazing. He had a great start, this season. Got injured, came back, and the past couple of games we've seen him, he just seems like he's not bothered to play. So I'd say Leitner.
Okay. Now, what about on the opposite end of the spectrum? Who does a lot of their work and it doesn't really get a lot of the plaudits, doesn't really get in the limelight, but without him, you'll miss.
Marco Stiepermann.
Yeah.
He's our centre attacking mid, and he just drives at players. I don't know, for a player of his size. I mean, I think 6 foot, and he just glides through defenders, and you think, well, you'd have to be agile. You'd have to be 5'7", 5'8", or 5'10", something like that. But no, he's 6 foot, and he just seems to find a way of turning players. So I would say it's definitely him because, you've got Pookie to contend with, Buendia, Hernandez. They're your main three that everyone sort of looks at before Stiepermann. So, yeah.
All right. Okay. Now, obviously, a lot of greats have blessed the old Carrow Road football pitch over the history of the club. But who in your eyes, has been the best ever player for Norwich?
Since I've been supporting, probably Wes Hoolahan.
Wes Hoolahan.
It's got to be the Irish Messi. I think without him, at a lot of times, we wouldn't have been scoring the goals that we did to get us back to the big time. When he was around and we had Grant Holt. So I think he's been a joy to watch.
Okay, now this is where you do get to steal somebody from somewhere else within the division. Who would you take if you could take someone with you to the Premier League? Who would?
Probably Sheffield United's goalkeeper, Dean Henderson.
He's a good goalkeeper, but he rubs me the wrong way. We've had a couple of run-ins. He's very cocky and arrogant, but
I know.
He is a good keeper.
He's good at what he does.
Yes.
He's good at what he does. And Norwich had been tooted with him before Sheffield United got in there. Yeah. And I was quite gutted that we didn't get him at the end of the day. But yeah, I think if we needed to strengthen anywhere,
It's the rank. It's the goalkeeper ranks. Okay. Now it is obviously. It looks like it's either first or second. But where do you think you're gonna? Do you think you're gonna come out as champions?
I don't know. I'd hate to be a pundit at this stage trying to predict the last two games. I mean, we've got Aston Villa and Blackburn, obviously, and most Norwich fans, most Norwich fans are going, well, okay, we need the 3 points against Blackburn, and then go into Aston Villa and get a draw.
Right.
Well, it could be the other way around.
Could be.
Because we seem to favour playing the bigger teams where the play is more fluid, it's not broken down. And I think if we got the draw at Blackburn, everyone would be panicking by this point. There'd be, a draw would be enough to get
the deal, seal the deal.
Yeah. So we'd be promoted, but I also think a lot of Norwich fans are, and certainly myself, are worried that if we do go and get second, that the whole of the run that we went on was going to be overshadowed by the fact that we didn't get the championship trophy. I think it'd be such a shame at this stage to have thrown it away, because all we needed was 3 points and then go into Blackburn, get 3 points, and we'd have sealed the deal.
Yep.
So it's a tough one. It really is, because you look at Sheffield United, they've got Ipswich. I mean, Ipswich aren't going to do Norwich any favours, let's be honest. And even if they were, I don't think they're capable of doing it. So, at the end of the day, we've just got to focus on getting the 3 points. But I genuinely think we could end up finishing second.
Well, yeah, you never know. You never know. I think obviously, Leeds have kind of got too much to do to get back into the thick. They got Villa, I think, Sunday, and then someone else. I don't even know what they have after that. But yeah, I don't know. I think you guys. I think you'll do. Well, the Villa game will be interesting because they've already sealed their playoff fate as well, and that game could be a dead rubber as well. It could be.
It could be a case of them resting all their players, to be honest.
Exactly.
Because, at the end of the day, for them, they're not going to want to see Jack Grealish get injured because we're going all out to get 3 points, if you know what I mean. Right. So I think, if we do get the 3 points, then we're looking to get a draw at Villa. And that'll seal promotion and seal the championship.
Seal the top of the table. Okay. Now, obviously, big game this weekend. We haven't really talked about it, but what is, for your analysis, who's going to win? What's the score going to be? Carrow Road.
To be honest, I think if we need to go out, we need to go out and get these points. So I think we will come at you. So I think probably 3-1. I think you will get a goal, because, to be honest, I have no faith in my team ever getting a clean sheet.
Especially with Krul in the net,
Yeah, especially with Krul in the net, and for some reason we just seem to switch off at times. So
anyway, thank you, Harvey, and hopefully we'll get some review from you. If we can get you from the party atmosphere, we'll grab you for 90 seconds on the selfie video and all that kind of good stuff. But anyway, I'll let you get out of here.
Take care, mate.
Now, over the years, a number of players have played for Blackburn Rovers and Norwich. Here are 3 pretty decent ones coming around at you. Craig Bellamy. Here he is, the babyface assassin. There he is when he was at Norwich as a youngster. Then he was there at Rovers for his one season of glory. He was very, very good back in the day. How about this guy, though? David Bentley. Did he go on loan? I think he was on loan at Norwich prior to coming to Rovers. I don't know. And there he is, scoring a hat-trick against Manchester United back in the day before he sought out the money for Tottenham Hotspur. And wrapping it up, how about this one? Ex-Premier League winner, Tim Sherwood. He also rocked the old Canaries jerseys back in the day. If you want to check out a full list of all the players that I know of play for both Blackburn Rovers and Norwich, there is a list of them on my website in your description down below. And speaking of my website, boys and girls, if you want to support the channel in another way except for your viewership, there is the old new hotly released Patreon bad boy. You can check that sucker out. There is a link to that bad boy in your description below. There are 3 tiers of support that you can explore through Patreon. Each offer or have different perks and privileges, so make sure you check that sucker out. Again, the Patreon channel link is down below. Now you've heard a little bit what I have to say about the match, and you've heard what the opposition fans have had to say. Now, what has the cat got up her sleeve as she closes out her predictions? This is her last away one. What she got between Norwich and Rovers. Here she comes. That's pretty much all I've got for you today, folks. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a good old thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, smash the subscribe. I'll be bang out to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, world football related. We're going to all here under one roof. And while I still have you, check out the old description. Links to my other social media platforms are in there. Twitter, Facebook, of course, the hotly released Patreon. And if you want to give me some comments and feedback about the build-up to this game, stick your old opinions in the old comment section down below. We're going to have a good old chatter about it. Okay, folks, this season is coming to a close. The next time you'll see me in this, guys, will be an instant review. It's actually a little bit of a sucky one for me because I've got to work this day. Actually work when this game is going on, but don't worry, I'll catch it on the fly. But you'll get my instant thoughts then, and we'll do a detailed review a little bit later on Saturday/Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. And then we go again for the Swansea, the final game of the season. Rovers will wrap it up. Can we get into the top half of the table? That's the aim. Can we make it 5 wins on the spin against Norwich? Let's hope so. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.